5 is under 16. For the Newcastle side, number 1 is Jaden Murray from Central Charlestown. Number 2 is Brody Lane from Curry. 3 is Zenon Nutt from Central. Number 4 is Dean Langley from West. Number 5 is Manuel Langley from East Melbourne. Number 6 is Jack Torchman from Curry. Number 7 is Jasper McGill from East Melbourne. Number 8 is Jack Brandon from Greater Western. Number 9 is Alana Cliff from Western Suburbs. Number 10, Taylor Harms from East Melbourne. Number 11 is Leighton Rose from Central Charlestown. Number 12 is Ethan Butterfield. Jackson Emily from Singleton. Number 6 is Bailey Miller from Aberdeen. Number 7 is Bladen Reed from North Penrith. Number 8 is Caleb McMillan from Narrabri. Number 9 is Alice Barnett from Scone. Number 10 is Jack Todd from Farah. Number 11 is Daniel Kelly from North Penrith. Number 12 is Jackson Shade from Singleton. Number 13, Hugh Collins from Aberdeen. Number 14, Blake Gilman from Farah. Number 15, Shannon Wilson from Tinga. Number 16, Wayne Silver from Farah. Number 17, Andrew Lee from Singleton. And number 8, Aidan Borwood from Singleton. The coach is Luke Taylor and the manager is Steve Hayland. The referee for this first fixture, referee is Pat Allen from the Central Coast. With the touch judges Cameron Smith and Michael Arnold.
Welcome everybody to the Lakeside Sports Complex at Raymond Terrace. My name is Daniel McCamley and I'm here with Jessica McCartney. We'll be bringing you the round 2 clash between the Newcastle Knights Development Squad and the Greater Northern Tigers. So Jessica, these two teams will be vying for the Andrew Johns Cup.
Yeah, this year sees a new structure for all of our age group representative football. Obviously, with the return of the under-20s competition into the State Cup again, we will see some changes at country level as well, and that's really exciting. The Andrew Johns Cup and the Laurie Daley Cup will feature over 550 of the best young players from across regional New South Wales. We'll see a total of 52 games played in 23 towns across the state, and that's really exciting. The under-16s, the Andrew Johns Cup competition will feature 11 teams making the field in each age division, and 8 of those franchises are currently linked with NRL clubs. The aim is of this competition to have all of the regions aligned by the start of the 2019 season, but well done to the St George Illawarra Dragons, Penrith Panthers, West Tigers, Canberra Raiders, Sydney Roosters and Newcastle Knights for already showing their support for this new initiative and the new structure.
And speaking of support, it's time that we thanked our sponsors, and we'll start with our major sponsor that's made this possible. That's SLE Worldwide. Not to mention Bar TV, who are streaming these games live, Anytime Fitness and Victor Sports. So, Jess, it's time to go through the team lists. We'll start with the Greater Northern Tigers. So Blair Maloney will line up at fullback. Mackenzie Shepherdson and Jackson Amidi will be on the wings. Jacob Sukanuvialu and Jet Butler will be in the centres. Bailey Miller at 5'8", Braden Reed at halfback, Caleb McMillan and Jack Todd at prop, Alex Darmez at hooker, Daniel Kelly and Jackson Shade in the second row, and Hugh Collins at lock. On the interchange bench, we'll have Blake Ginman, Shannon Wilson, Wayne Seabrook, Andy Lampkin and Aidan Allgood. Their coach is Luke Taylor.
And the Newcastle Knights under-16s development squad will line up as follows today. Number 1, Jaden Murray. Number 2, Brody Lennon. Number 3, Zion Musse. Number 4, Dean Langdon. Number 5, Manueli Langi. Number 6, Brock Portsmouth. Number 7, Jasper McGill. Number 8, Jack Gunton. Number 9, Romna Cook. Number 10, Tyler Harms. Number 11, Leighton Rose. Number 12, Ethan Butterfield. 13, Hayden Regan. 14, Jack Tamburini. 15, Jackson McIntyre. 16, Aidan Jenkins. 17, Lewis Bell. 18, Jack Melville. Dan, back to you for the live coverage.
Thanks, Jessica. And we've just had kickoff here with Newcastle working their way out of their own end. Some strong defence there from the Greater Northern Tigers. They had a good win last week, the Northern Tigers, 40-6. As Newcastle work it up to the 40-metre line. Slow play the ball. Hooker takes a dart out of dummy half there. Strong defence from the Tigers. Newcastle kick to the corner. It's a nice kick, finds the grass, but turns the fullback around. And a good kick chase there from Newcastle to start the game. So nice start there for Newcastle, Jess.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, when you're playing in front of home crowds, it can be a really exciting time and the nerves can be up, but that was a really solid set with a very good finish.
As the Tigers now work their way up to the 20-metre line. Nice strong run there. More solid defence there from Newcastle. It's been a good opening for both teams defensive. A strong run there from the Tigers. As the Tigers kick now. They look to come off the torso there. It's play on. And he's wrapped up just in field. So Newcastle with good field position here, 30 metres out. Little scoop from dummy half. More numbers in the tackle there from the Tigers. And they get him onto his back. Slow play the ball. As they come to the short side, the Knights. Tyler Harms with a nice run there. He scored 2 tries last week. That'll be the last tackle. There's the Knights kick. Up in the air. It finds the grass. Well covered up there by Blair Maloney.
So we're seeing some good completion rates so far from the young players out there. We've also saw some strong work from the outside backs from the Knights, bringing the ball back and giving their forwards a breather before they joined in the set. So a really good start from both teams.
As the Tigers now work it through the middle there, 3 in the tackles, some more strong defence there from the Knights. The Knights were round 1 losers last week, Jess, so they'll be looking to bounce back this week against the Tigers. As the Tigers kick long. Picked up there by Jaden Murray, who looks to bring it back. And a nice kick chase there from the Northern Tigers. Kinniver Shepherd there, but the play continues. Again, the outside backs getting in to help out. And the referee's found an error there, so first mistake there from the Knights. It'll give the Tigers very good field position here. They'll be able to go on the attack for the first time today.
This is really our first opportunity to have a look at the Tigers and what they're going to set up on attack. They will have trained for a lot of these set plays, so it'll be interesting to see what they come up with. At this stage in the game too, you don't have to score off every play, so as long as they complete the set and get a good last tackle option, they should be pretty happy, and the coach will be too.
As they win the scrum feed, and they've turned it straight over, so missed opportunity there for the Tigers. It was a very good chance to go on the attack early in this game, and they've turned the ball over. So we'll have another scrum with a feed for the Newcastle Knights. Jasper McGill with the scrum feed there, and the Knights win it as they look to shift the ball early. Jaden Murray with a solid carry there, but he's met just as solidly in defence by the Tigers. Slow play the ball again there. Tigers doing well to slow the ruck down. Nice shift to the right. Solidly met in defence. The Tigers are really hitting hard today. As they move it to the left. Jack Gunton there with a solid run for the Knights. They shift to the right. Fullback chimes in. Bit of space out here on the right wing. A nice offload there. And that's a great tackle. Oh, he looks to have gone over in the corner. He looks to be wrapped up. He spun out of the tackle. And that looks like a try to Zion Mosse. And the Knights hit the front 4-0.
Yeah, that's some pretty impressive football from someone so young. Some great footwork, very well balanced, and a great rugby league build already too. We see some of these players mature pretty early and have the right type of build, and he's even got the NRL hairdo to go with it.
He looked to be wrapped up in the corner there, but just showed some very good strength to muscle his way out of that tackle and get over in the corner. Now Tyler Harmes will look to convert here from wide out. It's a good start for the Knights. As we said, they were first round losers last week, so to hit the front early will be a good confidence boost for them. Taking his time over this kick. They'd love to go up by 6 here. There's the kick. Looks just drifts to the right of the post. That's unlucky there for Tyler. So a good start for both sides here, Jessica. It's a really good opportunity for these young kids to put their name in the frame for NRL teams. Under 16s, they're not that far away from first grade.
Yeah, and I think it's a good wellbeing decision to move towards a structure that sees the country boys staying at home with their support networks, with their families, at school, completing their education. And that's part of why the structure is in place the way it is. So I think that's a good move in terms of player wellbeing. We've seen a mistake there from kickoff, so a handover in possession. We had someone in front of the kicker, unfortunately. Basics are so important, and they continue to be important right the way through, so they really need to get that discipline right.
That puts the Knights right back on the attack here, that penalty from the kickoff. Nice offload there from Tyler Harmes. The Knights look to go on the attack. Can they go back-to-back here? It's a nice run there by Jack Gunton. 25 out from the line. Plenty of tackles up their sleeve. They look to switch the play. That goes to Leighton Rose there. Solidly met in defence. Nice short passing there from the Knights as they're looking dangerous. They've created numbers out here on the left. The missed tackle there. The winger's on the ball. He looks to go for the corner, and he's in. Referee looks for confirmation and gives a try. So the Knights go back-to-back there. Brody Linane in the corner. That makes it 8-0 to the Knights.
It's a really nice play there from the Knights. They're making really good decisions on attack in terms of when to offload and when to hold on to the ball. We saw a couple of quick passes out there and a lot of pace from those outside backs.
So that put the Knights up 8-0, and if that first try was a shot of confidence for them, they'll be on cloud 9 after that second try. Another tough kick here, though, for Tyler Harmes. just goes to show how important those penalties are in these games. Put the Knights right back on the attack and they capitalise. He lines the kick up now from the left touch line. Deep breath. Moves in for the kick. It's on its way. And that's waved away as well. So the Knights lead 8-0 here. Take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, SLE Worldwide, Bar TV, Anytime Fitness and Victor Sports for their support of these great competitions. As the Greater Northern Tigers look to get back into the game here. No errors from the kickoff there as they look to work it out now, the Knights. Tigers' defence has been very solid in the opening stand, so let's see if they can get their team back into the game. Nice short ball there. Well wrapped up around the legs. And the Knights have been penalised with the ball there. Referee coming over for a chat. Jack Tamburini, the culprit. Tigers with a good opportunity to get back into the game here, Jessica.
Yeah, we saw the Tigers unable to capitalise off the last error, so hopefully this time they've regrouped and they'll get to the completion and get to the kick.
There's a couple of settlers early on here for the Tigers. They're inside the 20 though, good field position. Centre of the park, options either side here for the Tigers. So they go short. Solid defence by the Knights on their own line as the Tigers come left now. Knights rush up and put a stop to that. It's looking dangerous out the back there for the Tigers. Short ball, he looks... There's been a drop ball. Did he get it down? No, the referee says knock on. So it'll come back out to the 20. That was a good chance there for the Tigers. Knights look to go quickly. Bit of bad luck there for the Tigers. They look to be over the line. Drop ball. So Knights work it away now. Making decent yards here, the Knights, on this set. And just as I say that, the defence stiffens up. Drives him 5 yards back. They go the shorter side. Slow play the ball out there on the left-hand touchline. As the Knights go to the air. It's a high kick. Out to the wing of Jackson Amidi, who does well under the high ball. Brings it back centre field. Nice run there by Mackenzie Shepherdson, coming in off his wing to help out. Spotted a half hole there to the Tigers, but closed quickly by the Knights. So Hooker has a run now. Trying to catch a Marcus asleep. Andy Lampkin with the run, and he's drawn a penalty there for the Tigers. Marker's not square. So fine touch the Tigers, 30 metres out, so another good opportunity. Daniel Kelly with a strong run. He was the one that went close earlier. Out of dummy half. And a knock on there by the Tigers in good field position too. So another chance goes begging there for the Tigers. They've had a couple in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate mistake there from Andy Lampkin. I had actually really enjoyed the energy that he had been bringing in both attack and defence. He'll have to make up for it this set. But I think as long as he lets it go now and stays in this next set, he could force an error.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, Lampkin. So that error is a little blip on his radar. Let's hope he bounces back from that. As the Knights break free here, and they break through the middle, get to the fullback. The fullback does his job, wraps him up. Good run there for the Knights. Moves him into the Tigers' territory. Jack Tamburini there with the offload, and they look to spread it. The Knights fall on the ball. That's a strong run there.
And we see the tackle count reset back to 1.
Nice short par. That's a great tackle. Nice short ball. Look to put him in a hole, and the hole closed quickly. As the Knights go left now. They've got numbers out here on the left wing. And the defence comes across this time, and he's touching goal there. So good defence, good scrambling defence there by the Tigers to keep the score to 8-0.
Yeah, that was really good defence, that set. What we see a lot in age group football is we see the teams usually have some pretty slick attack, but it is the teams that have the best defence and the best communication on defence that tend to win these matches.
Tigers now work it away from the 20-metre tap. That's a nice run up the middle there. 12-metre gain. And a quick play the ball too, and the hooker gets out nice and quickly. Another good run there for the Tigers, so they're looking to get it back on the front foot. Blair Maloney looking to pierce the line there. There's another error from the Tigers who fall on the ball, but that'll be a scrum feed to the Knights, 35 out from their own line. Crucial errors at crucial times, costing the Tigers at the moment, Jessica.
Yeah, it's just about those basics and not kind of letting one error compound the next one, and leaving those errors in the past where they were, and making sure that you're resilient and you're moving on, that you're supporting the guy that did make the mistake so that he can get back into the game and make up for it.
As the Knights feed the scrum, they win the scrum feed. Out to our first try scorer today, Zion Mosse. And he's turned the ball over first tackle, so mistake there from Newcastle, opening the door for the Greater Northern Tigers. Tigers will have a scrum feed 40 metres out and on the attack.
Such a great opportunity being provided by the Country Rugby League and Bar Sports for the live stream. I know there's a lot of family members and friends back home who would like to be here and supporting their team, so it's a really great initiative to be able to bring you guys at home, wherever you are, whether it be out in the country or even for families that are overseas, the opportunity to still participate and support your boys.
There's a penalty to the Tigers, 30 metres out right in front. Looks like they'll be taking the quick tap. And their big prop, Caleb McMillan, carts it forward. Backed up by his front row mate there, Jack Todd. They're within the 10 metres here, the Tigers, so a good opportunity as they shift the ball left. Just holds the pass. His second row overran that there. He did well to hold on to it. Short ball. They go closer, the Tigers. Charge at the line there. Daniel Kelly goes close again. The Knights solid in defence though. That'll be the last tackle. As the hooker goes from dummy half. Can't get there. Very good defence from the Knights on their goal line there. As you said, Jessica, that could be the difference in these games.
Just seeing one of the Tigers boys getting up a little bit slowly, but good news. He's going to rejoin the defence line. Obviously, particularly at this age group, but right the way through, player safety, player well-being is utmost importance. And but it is good to see him back in the line, ready to go again.
Yeah, he went very close there, the hooker Dames. As the Knights work it out from their own line now. It's not a bad place to give the ball over on the goal line, though. They can work it out from the goal line. And the Knights spill the ball there, and the Tigers pick it up. So back on the attack now, the Tigers. The Knights lead 8-0, so good opportunity here for the Tigers. As their fullback comes up to have a run, Blair Maloney. Tackled centre field. They go to the right. Nice right foot step there by the lock. Hugh Collins. He's only a couple of metres away. They go out the back to Maloney. Well read there by the Knights. Their goal line defence has been excellent today. As they use the big front rower, Caleb McMillan, as a battering ram. Nice offload. And another attempted offload there, and the Knights fall on the loose ball. So again, the Knights hanging tough in defence as they work it out. And deja vu there, they've turned it over in the same spot. The Tigers pouring the pressure on with a great run up the middle. A nice offload. Ball on the ground, they've picked it up. They're going close here, the Tigers. They'd love some points. Plenty of room on the wing, and that'll be a try. Mackenzie Shepherdson holding his width there. And he goes over in the corner, so the Tigers hit back. 8-4 with a kick to come.
Yeah, that's great patience from the Tigers. It took them a little while to get down there and to actually get across the line, but they waited, they were patient, they didn't get their heads down, and they've managed to put a couple of really good plays together, firstly through their forwards and then sending it out the back line.
Well, Jessica, we spoke about both teams' defence early on, and the Tigers' defence has got them back into this game. 2 turnovers in the Knights' territory. They picked the ball back up, they got to build some pressure, and they've gone over in the corner, so kick to come here for the Tigers at 8-4. I'll tell you what, Jessica, isn't it good news that people like Andrew Johns and Laurie Daley have had their names put to these trophies? It really gives these kids something to aspire to. It'll be something to win the Andrew Johns trophy as a 16-year-old.
Sure would, 2 country rugby league legends and people who are examples of the pathways, and we've never had probably a pathway that provides so much opportunity. We've got those 550 kids now competing in this competition, so the pathways are definitely there, but I think important too that these boys remember that whilst their end goal might be to play in the National Rugby League and to represent those 16 NRL clubs, enjoying their footy is the main thing, and becoming a better athlete and a better man because of your involvement in rugby league is as important.
And that kick was waved away there for the Tigers, so the score remains 8-4. They'll get a bit of a lift from that. As the Knights look to go long. Solid run there from the front rower, Jack Todd. Full head of steam up there, bent the line back. And the fullback chimes in now. So a good start to the set here for the Tigers. Nice marker defence there from the Knights. Put a stop to that as the Tigers look to come left now. He's been heavily involved, Daniel Kelly. A couple of strong runs, went close to a try early on. So they come the short side now, looking to catch them sleeping. Nice short ball, but it's put down. That'll be a scrum feed to the Knights. Looking good in attack though, the Tigers. Just a couple of sloppy errors costing them at crucial times.
Yeah, we saw that first set after the try with a real spring in the Tigers' step. It obviously energised them. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to complete, which lets the Newcastle side off the hook. But if nothing else, we've seen some really solid defence from the Tigers. So I'm sure that they will put a lot of energy into this next defensive set.
Speaking of which, a good shot there from the Tigers. Flat pass at best there, and the touchy looks to have picked that up. So it'll be a forward pass, a scrum feed to the Tigers, just their side of halfway. We mentioned two league legends in Andrew Johns and Laurie Daley. Country Rugby League's also being honoured with the best and fairest medals for both competitions. So Ron Lansbury from the Andrew Johns Cup and Tom Nelson, both life members of Country Rugby League. So that's a great honour for those two guys as well. As the Tigers look to shift now. Tigers come the short side. Nice run there. Very evasive as their centre. Bumping away from defenders is the big front rower, Jack Todd. The two front rowers for the Tigers have been outstanding. And they put it down on the attack, and the Knights pick up and look to counter. Knights working it away from their own line now. The Tigers have had a few opportunities down here in the last 5 or 10 minutes, Jessica. They've been camped down here, really.
They have, and for both sides, it's still probably the basics that are letting them down. They just need to go back to what they practiced at training. They need to make sure that they're paying close attention to detail, because this is a close match. It really does come down to those errors, and whoever probably has the least errors is probably going to be the side that is victorious at the end of this match.
Strong defence there by the Tigers. Numbers in the tackle, slowing to play the ball down. Knights come to the open side now. Ball goes high in the air. A nice spiral torpedo bomb. The fullback does ever so well to take that. Blair Maloney, he's been rock solid back there under the high ball. Mackenzie Shepherdson in off his wing. He's had a couple of very nice runs. He's scored a try already today. Tripped up there, but a decent 15-metre run there from the front rower as they look to shift it to the left. The Tigers reach halfway. Nice run there from the lock, Hugh Collins. He finds touch there. So nice kick there by Bailey Miller, just slowing play down. Give his team a bit of a breather. Scrum feed 10 metres out for the Knights. And the kick looks to have been touched there, Jessica. So the Tigers will go on the attack here. They come the open side from the scrum. Maloney puts some footwork on, but he's wrapped up quickly. So they go the short side. The halfback takes a line on. He looks to have gone over here, the halfback. Just strong, hard running there. Braden Reid goes over and makes the score 8-all out of nowhere. Right on the stroke of half-time too.
So we saw Newcastle in that first half really come out with a lot of spring in their step, and they kind of owned the first part of that half, and then through some solid defence and some patience from the Tigers, we then saw them crawl their way back into the match, and we saw the Knights' energy kind of drop off, and that we see that a lot, those ebbs and flows in a game of rugby league, particularly at the under-16s level. So it looks like we could be going into half-time at even, depending this next kick, but I'd say that's probably a pretty good result for both sides, given that they haven't quite played the complete half each, and it does also make for a very exciting second half.
Well, the Tigers will be thrilled to go in level, if not better. Started off slowly, the Knights hit the front, 2 quick tries, back to back, put them 8-0 up. As you said, the Tigers have clawed their way back into the game. They've got a kick to go in front here. There's the kick, and the kick's successful. So the Tigers will go into half-time, 10-8 in front of the Knights. As you said, Jessica, a very even half there for both sides. Knights came out of the gates flying. Tigers finished off the half stronger, so we go in at 10-8 at half-time. Welcome back here to Lakeside Sports Complex at Raymond Terrace. So, Jessica, solid first half for the two teams. Tight scoreline, 10-8 in favour of the Greater Northern Tigers. What are your thoughts on that first half?
Yeah, I think it was really close, and it's definitely set us up for an exciting second half. There were moments of brilliance from both teams, and then there were probably a few more knock-ons than both coaches from both sides would prefer. So I'm sure the message at halftime has been from both coaches, safety first. And I do believe whoever holds on to the ball and treasures possession the most in this half will be the side that walks away with the competition points.
And good opportunity here just before we kick off for the second half to thank our sponsors for the competition. So we've got SLE Worldwide, Bar TV, Anytime Fitness, and Victor Sports. So thank you very much for your support, guys, as we kick off for the second half. Tigers have first use of the ball. Nice run. The front rowers for the Tigers have been excellent today. That's another strong run there from the front rower, Jack Todd. Suka Navialu comes in from his centre position for a run there. Nice kick over the top. So a good set there for the Tigers first up. Got to their kick. Now Jaden Murray looks to beat a few and work his way back to the middle of the park. Well, back to basics was the message from the coaches in the sheds at half-time. The Tigers will be happy with their start of the second half. The Knights come the short side now. It's a decent kick down the short side too. Fullback makes his way across. Solid kick chase there from the Knights. It's been very impressive, the winger from the Tigers, Mackenzie Shepherdson. A couple of his carries, runs with a lot of purpose. The Tigers get it back to centre field. Tigers shift it now, and solid defence out there on the right edge for the Knights. The Tigers turn to put one up in the air now. High kick. It's been dropped there by the Knights. Penalty there to the Tigers. To the Knights, sorry. They get away with one there.
Yeah, it was an interesting option to, instead of the territory gaining kick, to go for a bit of a bomb midfield, but it looked like it had paid off with the handling error from the Knights. However, we did have a few of those Tigers players in front of the kicker, so we see the Knights back in possession. If you can, if you're watching us, if you're joining from the live stream, we'd love to know where you're joining us from and who you're supporting. So if you want to drop a comment in the comments box and let us know which part of the country or whereabouts you're joining us from, that'd be great.
Yeah, thanks to Bar Sports for the live stream as the Knights go on the attack now. They've split the defence, the fullback on the ball, brought down 5 metres out, so the Knights on the attack here. Slow play the ball for the Knights. And the ball's been put down there by Newcastle. So the Tigers get out of jail there. Nice break there from the Knights down the short side.
Yeah, we just saw a handling error there from Leighton Rose. I had a look up at the defensive line before he had secured possession of the ball. He'll need to recover from this and let that go and put in a really good defensive set next up.
as the Tigers now work their way upfield. There's an error from the Tigers, so gifting the Knights an opportunity here. Knights will have a scrum feed just inside the Tigers' 40-metre line. Knights with the scrum feed, and they win the scrum. They come out to the open side. Nice defence there from Shepherdson. Did well to hold up the play. They had numbers there, the Knights. Just a settler there from Hayden Regan. As the Knights go to the open side now. The fullback chiming in. Ball's on the deck. And the ball trickles into touch. An opportunity there for the Knights. Jaden Murray looked to have split the gap, but some last-ditch defending there from the Tigers. An offload from Murray and the ball rolls into touch. The Tigers will have a scrum feed 10 metres out from their own line.
Say hello to some of our viewers that have joined the live stream. We've got people from Inverell, Aberdeen, Newcastle, Taree. We've got some from Foster and Singleton. Singleton's pretty well represented in this great Northern Tigers team with 4 of the players hailing from Singleton. Thanks so much for joining us on the live stream. Remember, you can share the link so that friends and family can jump on board and support the players as well. I'm sure they appreciate you guys giving up your afternoon to support them.
A couple of nice offloads there from the Tigers as they look to make their way out of their own half. They lead 10-8 at the moment. Some solid defensive marker there from Jack Tamburini. As the Tigers come the short side and the ball's pass and ends up into touch. Both teams would be unhappy with the end to their last couple of sets. The Tigers would have been looking to get to a kick there and put a bit of pressure on the Knights coming out of their own end. The Knights have a scrum feed 40 metres out from their own line. They win the scrum. Nice run there from the winger for Newcastle, Brodie Linane. Nice short ball there from the Knights. Over the advantage line as they look to go to the open side. And that's unlucky there for the Knights. They look to have created a bit of an overlap out there and the ball's just bounced up and an error from the winger. Another opportunity there for the Knights. That final pass can stick. They'll be in with a shot of going over in the corner there.
Been really impressed with Jaden Murray's hands actually there at fullback. A couple of times he's been given some slightly tricky passes to take care of and he's been able to pull them in and he's hitting the ball at pace. So not easy to do. Pretty impressed with him so far. We did see both teams start off a little bit more conservative in terms of looking after the ball. We have seen that drop off a little bit in the last couple of plays. This is where, even though it's hard at 15-16, we're going to need someone to really step up in each side and show a bit of leadership, ask the boys to stay composed. And really these errors, they're going to be really costly towards the end of this half.
It is a warm day out there, Jessica, so a bit of fatigue might be creeping in as well, but if either team can hold on to the ball for a sustained period, they'll go a long way to winning this game as the Tigers put a nice kick into the corner. And there's your man, Murray, with a nice pick up there at full speed. Error from the Knights, working it off their own line, so great opportunity here for the Greater Northern Tigers to extend their lead. Tigers here win the scrum feed. And they goes close here from the scrum. Scrambling defence from the Knights. That was a nice run there from the 5'8", Bailey Miller. The ball comes out to the fullback now. Blair Maloney. And a nice scramble again. As they come back to the open side, the big front rowers put the ball on the deck. The Knights come away from their own line. So the Knights survived there, Jessica.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate for them. We obviously see a huge hit there. Huge hit there from our Great Northern Tigers prop. Unfortunately, didn't get up quickly to mark her, and so left a little bit of room in there for the Newcastle Knights hooker.
As the Knights look to work the ball away from their own line, they need to get up the other end, the Knights. They need some points. Nice offload there from the Knights as they look to shift it to the right. Tackled on the halfway line. They come the open side, the Knights. There's a kick out to the wing there of Shepherdson, who's just happy to let it roll into touch there, Shepherdson. So the Tigers will have a scrum feed 25 metres out from their own line.
Yeah, you get a sense at the moment that the Tigers just might have that upper hand this half. They're ahead on the scoreboard, but they also seem to be the more patient side at the moment and the one playing with the most structure. There's definitely not much in it, and the Knights have every opportunity to push ahead. But at the moment, for me, the momentum is sitting with the Tigers.
From where the Knights pick the ball up on their own goal line there, they'll be happy to have got to their kick. Put a bit of pressure on with their own defence now. There we are. Loose carries, drop ball in the play the ball, and the Knights get the ball 35 metres out from the Tigers' line.
It's also really, I think, important to note that these sides are both supported. We've got Andrew Ryan, we've got Bobcat on the sideline with the Knights. We've got Tommy Leroy Lards as well, who's joined us with the GNT, and it's so wonderful to see retired NRL players giving back to the sport. And if there's anything rugby league does well, it's giving back to community, and those players, seeing them come back and share their expertise and their experience coming through those pathways is so important. So it's great to see those guys involved.
As the Knights go on the attack here, after last week's first round loss, they'll be looking to bounce back with a win here today. So the Knights charge forward towards the post. Tackled a couple of metres short of the line. It's the Tigers with a player out of the defensive line, down injured. Couple of steps there from the halfback, Jasper McGill. Tigers player still down. As the Knights come left, rush up on him. Nice step there from Brock Portsmouth. He's wrapped up. As the trainers attending to Braden Reid. They did well there, the Tigers, with a man out of the line. As Reid's down, the trainers are looking after him as we speak.
Seems to be in a little bit of pain there. Hopefully nothing too serious, but for those of you at home, trust that he is in the best of care. These trainers and the support staff with the teams undergo a lot of training to make sure that they understand the importance of player welfare, and they'll make sure that they've give him the best of attention to make sure that he's well looked after. Let us know too, joining us from the live stream, what you think of the new structure and the new pathways, allowing country boys to stay at home, stay with their support networks, finish their schooling, and then join the NRL system a little bit later on. Tell us what you think of the new pathways. We'd love to hear your feedback. We know Andrew Ryan and a couple of the other retired NRL players have been visiting each of these teams that are part of this competition and delivering education sessions on things like decision making and illicit drugs and those kind of topics, as well as resilience. So these boys are learning not only those skills on the field, but also the skills off the field that will ensure that they're successful later on in life It's a really important part of being a complete athlete and something the National Rugby League and the Country Rugby League take really seriously. So it's good to see players like Matt Bellin, who's recently retired, being involved in those education sessions.
Good to see Braden Reid up. He's making his way off the field under his own steam, which is good news. It's amazing the amount of time and effort that goes into not just on-field development but off-field development these days. So it's really good to see the Country Rugby League coming to the party there. The Tigers will restart play on their own 10-metre line. Play gets back underway. Tigers look to work it out of their own end. Solid defence there from the Knights, driving the players back. As Lampkin comes on, he was very effective in the first half of that first half. Nice early kick there from the Tigers into a lot of space. Turns the fullback around. And the ball is just going to beat them to the touchline. So, lovely kick there from the Tigers. Fine touch about a metre out from the Knights line. Kicked early too, turned the fullback around, turned the winger around. Now the Tigers can really put some pressure on with their defence.
Yeah, that was a great kick and a very good chase from that right-hand side as well. They'll be really pleased with the position that's given them, and short of a try, making a side work the ball out from there is going to be really tricky.
I dare say Jaden Murray and Brodie Lanane would have been happy. Oh, that was a 40-20, so the Tigers have the ball. Chance to post points here and put a bit of a gap between themselves and the Knights as Lampkin takes it up off the tap. They go to the left. He looks to go close. The referee looking for confirmation. I think he's going to blow the try, and he has. The big front rower for Great Northern Tigers. Jack Todd goes over next to the post. And that'll make the score 14-8 with a kick to come right next to the uprights. The forward pack for the Tigers has been outstanding today.
Yeah, the Knights thought that maybe there'd been a lost ball there and that they could play the ball out, but the officials have confirmed that there was downward pressure and that the try was scored. So we see the Tigers extend their lead. The game's been played in great spirits for all those family members watching at home and joining us on the live stream. I'm sure you're very proud of both teams' efforts and the way that they've represented you and they've represented their community. There's a degree of professionalism in the way that they've approached this. So congratulations to all of you who have contributed so far to these young boys' careers.
Yeah, well said, Jessica. As Bailey Miller adds the 2 points, that takes it to 16-8. And the opportunity for that try all came from Miller's early kick, 40-20. Tigers straight it back on the attack, and over they went next to the post. So some good play there from the 5'8" from the Greater Northern Tigers. Hails from the Aberdeen club. A little bit of breathing room now for the Tigers at 16-8. The kick goes down and Lampkin looks to bring it back. That's a great run again. Had one little blip on his resume in the first half and he's been really good for the rest of the game. There's the Tigers now running with a bit of a spring in their step after that try. Slow play the ball there, and there's the penalty. It's a bit loose in the ruck there from the Knights. So the Tigers will look to kick for touch here. And they find touch right on halfway. That's a nice run there from Shannon Wilson. There's the try scorer, Jack Todd, hitting it up. Crowd looking for another penalty as Lampkin takes it up again. Solid defence this time from the Knights. They weren't going to let him run over the top there. They shift to the left. A nice little dummy there. Blake Ginman looked to split the defence. Oh, short ball from Todd. They go close. Tackled right underneath the crossbar. Last tackle here for the Tigers. Cut out ball to Shepherdson. Comes back in field with an offload. And the Knights look to be away here. Foot race on now. Shepherdson tracking him down. That's a great chase. Oh, he's escaped the tackle. Oh, great tackle there by the 14 from the Tigers. Blake Ginman came from nowhere as the Knights look to go over. Short there, the Knights. The Tigers get their defence back on the goal line. Plenty of space out to the left as they go out to the left. And they're over in the corner, the Knights. The Knights hit back. It's a try to the Knights, and that's 16-12 now with a kick to come. The Tigers look to be going over in the corner. Loose pass. The Knights go 90 metres and then 2 tackles later over in the left-hand corner. And the Knights are right back in it, Jessica.
They sure are. What a great pickup and what a great run from the Newcastle Knights, but really impressive cover defence too. We saw the number 12 from the Great Northern Tigers, Jackson Shade, there showing a lot of pace to contribute to that chase down, and then of course the tackle was made. Very difficult for the Tigers to get back onto their line and form some defence there, and the Knights took advantage by some quick play out to the left. This game's not over yet.
No, they're right back in it. The Tigers could have probably put the icing on the cake down here in the right-hand corner, but that loose pass, the Knights swoop on it and they go 90 metres. He was unlucky not to score. Now the Knights with a chance to move within 2. Jasper McGill lines this one up. They haven't had an easy kick today, the Knights. All their tries scored out wide. They're looking to pilot this one through. There's the kick. It's a well struck, straight over the black dot. Jasper McGill makes a score. Greater Northern Tigers 16, Newcastle Knights Development Squad 14.
Can we see the home crowd advantage kick in? We've definitely seen the crowd lift in their enthusiasm, and they're definitely willing their team to bring this one home. But the Great Northern Tigers have looked solid. They have had the bulk of the momentum. So we've got about 10 minutes to go. You see a great step there. Can these Tigers force a mistake? And there's a turnover there for the Tigers.
Right on cue there, Jessica. I'm not sure you even finished the word mistake and the ball was on the ground. The Tigers will be happy to have the ball here on halfway. They had the game in control there, and that long break by the Knights and the try in the corner has put them right back in it. As they win the feed. And an error there from the packing down at lock. Shake of the head, a bit of disappointment there. He'll be working hard to make up for that. Now the Knights get an opportunity with some good field position. As the Knights work it to the middle of the field. Nice run there. A little bobble there from the fullback, but Garaches here is playing at speed, isn't he? He's hitting the line hard. Some good hands. Romana Cook, the hooker for the Newcastle Knights, has been really good out of dummy half as well. Looks to set the play up here. Slow play the ball. As they come the open side, the Knights. Deep back line. And shift out to the centre. Dean Langdon. Langdon with a step, Langdon with a try. Langdon is over. Referee points to the spot. And that puts the Knights in front, 18-16 over the Greater Northern Tigers with a kick to come. Some good footwork there from Langdon.
Yeah, very agile, a lot of good balance. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the prop forward there cover that defensive gap, even though he did give it his best effort. We do have one of the Knights boys down at the moment with what looks to be a lower leg injury. I still think there could be more points left in this match, though.
There's under 10 minutes to go, but we've started to see the points flow a bit here in the second half. As both teams are slowly but surely fatiguing under this hot sun here at Raymond Terrace. We've got the trainer attending to, looks to be Langdon, the try scorer.
We just see time off called here just to take care of the well-being of the player. He is on his feet but appears to be limping at this point in time. He may have to come from the field. Now seeing the kick be set up for conversion. Can hear a pin drop here at the park as they Newcastle fans and supporters are willing this ball to go over. And the conversion is successful.
So with just over 5 minutes to play, the Knights now lead 20-16. If they can hold on here, that'll put them 1-1 for the competition, and they'll have a big game next week against the Central Coast Roosters down at Wyong. The Knights will be looking to just work this up and get to their kick. Tigers looking to force a turnover here. They've got the bye next week, the Tigers, so they'd love to go in at 2-0. As Romana Cook gets out of dummy half. He's looked sharp today. Nice short ball there. Solid defence. The Knights get to their kick. That's what the coach would have wanted. Decent kick too, over the head of the fullback. Turns around, Blair Maloney. Sees a wall of Knights defenders as well. So a great kick and a great kick chase there from the Knights. If the Tigers are going to win this one, they're going to have to go the length of the field to do it. Solid run out of dummy half there from Sukanuvialu. Shepardson in off his wing again. Some strong running from him today. As the hooker pinches 10 metres there out of dummy half. A nice kick there by Bailey Miller again, looking for that 40-20 as it heads towards the sideline. And Murray gets across this time and keeps the ball in play. Greater Northern Tigers will be looking to force an error here. Knights will just be looking to get to that kick again as they work it out now. Mana Cook again out of dummy half. A great run. There's 10 easy metres there for the hooker. As the Knights come the short side. They've worked it up to just about halfway here. As the referee's hand goes up, last tackle. There's a kick downfield from the Knights, finds the grass again. Jasper McGill. His kicking's been very good this second half, and a decent chase there from the Knights. The Tigers have got 80 metres to go. Tigers here looking for a spark, looking for something to get them down the other end of the field. Just a late offload or a half line break could be the tonic they need. Nice little short ball there. Jack Toddy's been outstanding in the front row for the Tigers. There's his front row partner, Caleb McMillan. Nice offload. That's the last tackle, but they're 30 metres out here. Chance for an attacking kick for the Tigers as they come the short side. And a short ball there as they run it on the last. They've kept the ball alive, but the Knights regather.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he wasn't aware of it being the last tackle or that was a deliberate move to try and run it. But unfortunately, they've handed it over. They still should get another set or two, though. So they need to put in a big effort here and potentially force an error or at least keep the Knights to their own half.
That was a big shot there by Jackson Shade, charging out of the line. Good contact, but the Knights hold on to the ball. So Romano Cook comes the short side. The Knights again, 3 sets in a row now, get to their kick. That's a kick across field and into touch there. Wasn't one of his best there by Jasper McGill, but got into touch nonetheless. So I'll chew up a few seconds on the clock. The Tigers run in to pack the scrum, trying to get the clock stopped. Tigers win the scrum feed. This could be the Tigers' last opportunity with the ball. They work their way into the Knights' territory. 20-16, the Knights lead. Well, as the fullback does very well to hold on to it there, Blair Maloney. They come the open side now, the Tigers. Good run there from Jackson Shade as there goes the full-time siren. And the Newcastle Knights, 10-8 down at half-time, come from behind to beat the Greater Northern Tigers, 20-16. So the Knights move to 1 win and 1 loss, and the Tigers move to 1 win and 1 loss. A very good game there, Jessica.
Yeah, it really was. We didn't see a score blowout, which means that the defence from both sides was really good. I think it was played in amazing spirit, and there were some really, really good parts of that game that they'll build on for the rest of the season from both sides. It definitely was exciting. It definitely kept us guessing right up until the siren. And I think both coaches will be pretty pleased with the effort from both their sides. Thank you so much for those of you who joined us for the live stream of this Andrew Johns Cup match. The rest of this tournament will be live streamed as well. So make sure that you share the link with your friends and family and support networks. And then when the games do come to town, make sure that you are part of that crowd and supporting your boys the way you have. Thank you so much for everyone who's been involved today. We'll be rejoining in a few minutes' time once we've had a bit of a break for the under-18s game and the Laurie Daley Cup.
Welcome back here to Raymond Terrace. So we've just seen the Andrew Johns Cup match between the Newcastle Knights Development Squad and the Greater Northern Tigers. Now we've got the pleasure of witnessing the Newcastle Knights Development Squad Greater Northern Tigers under-18s in the Laurie Daley Cup. So we'll just run through the team list quickly. So the Greater Northern Tigers, we've got Max Altus, Kyle Johnson, number 2, Jack Stafford, number 3, Ben Fetchner, number 4, Cooper Harris, number 5, Trent Taylor, number 6, Bailey Ellis, number 7, Alec Hall, number 8, Sam Wentworth, number 9, Ethan Campbell, number 10, Lockie Chard, number 11, Henry Hall, number 12, Cody Byrne, number 13, Steve Dengate, number 14, Luke Holmes, number 15, Tyler Kent, number 16, Hayden Burke, number 17, and Clay Frendon, number 18. And their coach is Peter Stevens. And Jessica, did you want to run through the Knights team?
Sure, the Newcastle Knights development squad. The 18 side, we've got Trentham Pedersen, Marley J. Townsend, Jack Smith, the number 3. Number 4, Sam Abraham. Number 5, Yoteva Mataora. Number 6, Bailey Allardyce. Number 7, Willie Lockwood. Number 8, Nehana Oldham. Number 9, Ryan Potts. Number 10, Jock Sullivan. Number 11, Sione Tuitupo Kutu. Number 12, Riley Main. Number 13, Harry Whitfield. Number 14, Camilo Tuavaiti. Number 15, Matt Meafua. Number 16, Ross Hadley. Number 17, Jai Behrman King. Number 18, Jack Jackson. What a great rugby league name that is.
Thanks very much for that, Jessica. And good opportunity now to thank our sponsors, our major sponsor for the tournament, SLE Worldwide. We've got Bar TV, who are streaming all the games live. We've got Fitness First, and we've got Victor Sports. So a big thank you to those guys for coming on board and supporting Country Rugby League. So we've moved from the Andrew Johns Cup, which is the under-16s, to the Laurie Daley Cup, which is the under-18s. 2 teams, both coming off wins last week, so the winner will be sitting pretty, while the loser will move to 1 win and 1 loss. Should be in for a pretty good game this afternoon, Jessica.
Yeah, this is, of course, part of the new restructure. We see nationally that the under-20s are going back to state-based competitions, and this is the new pathway for Country Rugby League players. They'll be coming through the Andrew Johns Cup, through the Laurie Daley Cup, and then off to join other sides. We'll see 550 of the best country players from across regional New South Wales playing in this new competition. We'll see a total of 52 games played in 23 towns across the state over the next, it's a 7-week competition. So we've got a few weeks left, and then we'll go into the final series. It's really a positive step for Country Rugby League, these new pathways. We're now encouraging players to stay at home, stay in their regional towns with their support networks, their friends and their families. We're encouraging them to finish school and make sure that when they enter the first grade system, they've got that education behind them. And I think it's a really positive step. We're live streaming the game, so make sure that you share that live stream on your Facebook pages so that we can get as many people supporting your boys, not only here at the ground, but also across online platforms as well. We're seeing the teams come onto the field now. You forget how big some of these junior players really can be. This season we'll see a number of these sides affiliate or be aligned with NRL clubs. Congratulations to the St George Illawarra Dragons, the Penrith Panthers, the West Tigers, Canberra Raiders, Sydney Roosters and Newcastle Knights for showing that initiative in season 2018. We're hoping to have all 11 regions aligned with NRL clubs by the start of the 2019 season, and then we'll really see those pathways solidified.
It's really good to see the NRL clubs get behind this concept. You touched on it earlier about keeping these kids at home in their support networks. It's a really big positive, in my opinion, to keep these kids in their own areas, in their own communities, playing footy with their own friends, and not getting too involved with the NRL lifestyle too early on. They get a chance to really grow as people when they're at home.
Yeah, absolutely, and it keeps country football strong as well. If you remove those top-tier players, then that can weaken the local competition. So it really is a really good step in the right direction, and we should see the strengthening of country rugby league in those local competitions, which is really exciting. So we move towards kick-off. We've got the Great Northern Tigers running right to left on your screen, and the Newcastle Knights development squad ready to receive kickoff.
As the referee blows time on, and we're underway here in this Laurie Daley Cup match between the Newcastle Knights development squad and the Greater Northern Tigers, as the Knights look to work it up from their own goal line now after the kickoff. We saw it in the first game, Jessica, some really strong defence from both teams early on. Do you think we'll be in for some of the same again?
Yeah, it's good to see. Naturally, I think young players are often quite good in attack, but it really is the sides that we see defend well are the ones who are successful over time. The defence isn't quite as glamorous in general as the pretty attack, but the better players have that complete game.
There's an early kick there from the Knights. It was just about a 40-20. The fullback did well to come across and cover. He's just put a foot into touch. So the Knights will have a good opportunity here very early on to go on the attack. Lovely kick there from the Knights. They'll have a scrum feed 10 metres out. If you thought there were some big boys in the under-16 game, there's some even bigger ones out here in the 18s. So Knights come the open side. Into a bit of space here, the fullback, and some nice footwork. Goes close. Nice right foot step there from the 5'8", comes back to where the play the ball was. Good defence. Looks to have hurt himself there as the trainer comes in to give him some attention. Bailey Allardyce with the footwork. He went close there, Bailey.
Again, it's really good to see player welfare being prioritised. We've got really experienced and well-qualified trainers in this level of the game, and they will, of course, be prioritising that player well-being, that player safety, and until it's safe to move the player, we will see the game stopped. But that also gives both sides a chance to just settle those nerves that they might have built up pre-season. Such an honour and a privilege for country boys to represent their region, and I know that it's really important to them, so sometimes the nerves do build up pre-game. So this will just give them a chance to take a big breath and settle back into the game. If you are joining us on the live stream and you weren't with us for the earlier Andrew Johns game, we'd love to hear where you're from and where you're watching your live stream from. So drop in the comments box there which town across New South Wales or even further afield you're joining us from. Say hello and tell us who you're supporting. We'd love to know who we've got watching from home as well.
Yeah, Bar TV have come on board and they're streaming all games live, so not just this game. Get involved in any live game that's going on over the next couple of weeks. Your feedback is greatly appreciated, as the trainers are out there attending to the Knights player at the moment. A good opportunity to mention a couple of life members from Country Rugby League as well. So the inaugural Laurie Daley and Andrew Johns Cups will also have best and fairest medals awarded to the best players in those competitions. So Ron Lanesbury for the Andrew Johns Cup and Tom Nelson for the Laurie Daley Cup. Two life members of Country Rugby League getting some recognition there, so that's good to see.
All the players involved in this competition will receive the education programs and welfare programs from the National Rugby League and Country Rugby League. We've seen retired players like Matt Bellin and Andrew Ryan, Bobcat, out in country towns delivering education sessions, topics like resilience and career development, those kind of programs. There's a heavy focus on what happens on the field in terms of skill development, but equally so we're seeing a lot of energy, time and resource being put into the programs off the field. At the end of this 16s game earlier today, we heard the coaches addressing the staff and the players, and one of the main messages was, yes, it's a Saturday night, and a Saturday night when you're a young 16-year-old man is an exciting time, but if you're taking football seriously, you'll be at home recovering, looking after injuries and niggles and preparing for next week, and I think that's a really positive thing for these young athletes to be hearing at such a young age. We have actually, unfortunately, seen the players stretch it off. I'm sure the stretcher is a precaution and a willingness not to make that injury worse. Hopefully it's not a serious or long-term injury for the young man, and it will involve a little bit of a reshuffle of the Knights backline, but we wish him all the best, and we'll try and get an update if we can at halftime.
So the Knights will have to play the ball just in front of the uprights. They shift to the right. The halfback holds onto the ball. He's wrapped up there by 3 defenders. A little bit of hesitation there from the Knights. Willie Lockwood. There's a strong run from their second rower there. Sione Tuitupa Kutu. As the Knights there give away a penalty with the ball for an incorrect play the ball. So the Tigers let off the hook there. Tigers will look to kick for touch here and get off their own try line. First chance with the ball here for the Tigers after the Knights' early pressure. So they look to move the play to the centre of the field. As the Tigers put the ball on the deck right on halfway there, so the Knights will have a scrum feed. It's a lovely day for rugby league here at Raymond Terrace. The sun's out. Nice little breeze blowing. As the Knights look to move into the attacking half here. Over the short side, the Knights, and some solid defence out there by the Tigers. Defence rush up again there, putting some pressure on the Newcastle attack. Good hands there from Lockwood. Fullback looks to go for a quick scoot out of dummy half. Centres the play. That'll be the last. They come to the left to Lockwood. Lockwood with a nice little kick into the corner. It's been put down there. And the referees awarded a knock on against the Knights, so the Tigers will come out to their 20.
Great little creative kick there, though. It's good to see them pushing the boundaries. It was good placement too. Unlucky, but definitely put some pressure on the Tigers to make sure that they were in position to regather. Been impressed with the fullback early. Trentham Peterson from the Newcastle side. There must be some good things happening in fullback development in Newcastle at the moment, because the under-16s fullback was also very impressive, as we do see, unfortunately, an error here from the Tigers.
Yeah, that'll put Newcastle right back on the attack if they can win the scrum feed.
no one in a great hurry to pack the scrum. We're seeing one player being attended to here, potentially just checking that there's no sign of any kind of head knock. We've seen the game obviously make some pretty big steps in the last couple of years of head injuries, and making sure that those are taken care of and taken very cautiously. So we're all fine though, and we've packed the scrum. Newcastle now on the attack.
Some fleet footwork there from the winger as he steps inside. Good run there from Mally J. Townsend. There's a nice look to spread the ball here. Nice short ball there from Lockwood. The Knights go close. Some good defence there on the line by the Tigers. Big dummy from the hooker. They didn't fall for that one either. Ryan Potts trying to sneak over there from close range. And the Tigers have dove on the ball there. A quick play the ball from the Knights. They just went alert to it, and the Tigers pick up possession. As the Knights look to muscle up in defence now. Four in the tackle there. They'll look to slow the ruck down here. Tigers kick early, and that's out on the full there from the Tigers, so bit of an error there from their kicker. That'll be a turnover of possession.
The Newcastle Knights giving each other a pat on the back for the pressure applied to that kicker, who obviously wasn't able to get the kick away that he wanted to. Newcastle in great position here to be able to really put some pressure on and see if they can find a crack in the defensive line of the Tigers.
Knights on the attack again here. They've had a lot of the ball in the early going. There's Lockwood now out the back. Tigers defence are very alert to the out the back ball. A short ball from the hooker. And that'll be a knock on there.
Yeah, he's really fired that at his man standing pretty close to him, unfortunately, and probably not the right pass selection. For those of you only just joining us, wanting to know who won the 16s, it was a great game, very tight, very close, with Newcastle just coming away at the end. But it was a really well-fought game, and definitely ebbed and flowed.
Caught a bit of a break there, the Knights. The ball's come back off that pass, and the Tigers have been ruled to have knocked on, so the Knights still on the attack. And just as I say that, the Knights put the ball down, so the Tigers will get the scrum feed. Some good goal line defence there from the Tigers. They've done well to absorb the pressure early on. As I said, both teams are coming off wins last week. The Knights development squad, big winners over Northern Rivers, 40-4. And the Great Northern Tigers, 24-6 winners over the Central Coast Roosters. So both teams should be full of confidence going into today's game. It's the Tigers now. They'll just be happy to get to a kick and get down the other end, I think. Slow play the ball there for the Tigers. Doing a good job of controlling the ruck, the Knights. There's some good footwork there in the middle of the park from the Tigers. Gives in an extra 5 to 10 metres. As the Tigers do get to their kick. Picked up there by Trentham Peterson, fullback for the Knights. Now it's the Knights' turn to work it out. As Ayateva Matarora brings it to centre field. Gets the ball back from his dummy half there. Nice offload as well to Lockwood. Another offload. Ryan Potts tackled 5 metres out from the line. The Knights go the open side. And the Knights put it down. Jock Sullivan there trying to offload. And the Tigers will get a penalty as well. So the penalty will relieve the pressure here for the Tigers.
Yeah, and almost a mirror image of the first game we saw today here in the Andrew Johns Cup. We've seen Newcastle applying the pressure pretty early, but we are seeing some really solid defence from the Tigers, and if they can stay patient in this level of football, we definitely can see the tide turn, and the tide can turn quite quickly. So it's about the errors, it's about treasuring possession and making sure that you're in possession of the ball before worrying about having a look at the defensive line up in your face, and just really kind of treasuring that position.
The Tigers now doing the hard yards. They've done a lot of defending, so they'll be happy to have their hands on the ball. The speed of the defensive line for the Knights is impressive, getting up and putting a lot of pressure on early. There's a deep back line here for the Tigers. As they go the short side, trying to catch them napping. Out to the winger. That's a nice offload there. He was going into touch. They've kept it in play. Jack Stafford does well there. The ball goes high there. Well taken by the fullback, Trentham Peterson. So the Tigers get a chance to put some pressure on, but a penalty there will relieve that pressure. Hand on the ball, a signal from the referee. So Lockwood will look for touch. Quick restart there from the Knights. Pinched a couple of extra metres. Knights looking to punch holes through the middle of this Tigers defence. They're getting good numbers into the tackle though, the Tigers. So come out to the left, and Lockwood with a little kick over the top. Fullback comes across the cover. Gets out back into the field of play. So well done there by Max Altus. The Knights defence look to stiffen up here. Using up a lot of tackles here, coming off their own line, the Tigers. As they shifted a couple of passes wide of the ruck. Make some good metres there. Cries of forward pass, the referee isn't having any of it. The last tackle here is the Tigers look to get a kick in. It looks to have been touched, and it has. The referee signals, but the Knights come back up with the ball.
Yeah, again, great pressure from the Knights on the Tigers kicker. It's obviously a very deliberate pressure that's being applied at the moment. Tigers are doing it tough coming out of their own end at the moment. They might need to put some speedy backs in there and try and gain some metres early in those sets.
As the defence rushes up from the Tigers, a nice shot there. Short ball there to Niahara Oldham. Comes out the back, ball bounces. Fullback picks it up. Jinks inside 1 and 2. Wrapped up right in front of the post. That'll be the last tackle for the Knights. As they come to the right. Little chip over the top to the centre. And he's scored. He's over in the corner. The referee talking to his touchy. That's a try. Sam Abraham. Easy as you like in the corner. That'll be 4-0 for the Knights.
It's another well-weighted kick into the corner, and obviously the centres and wingers are right onto that. Probably something they've been putting a bit of practice and training into over the last couple of weeks. With that kind of accuracy, it is hard to defend. Felt that the Tigers were absorbing pressure pretty well there, but it is hard to be on the defence for such a long period of time and not be able to make it out of your own half. The good opportunity now, though, behind the in goal now to regroup and to start again next set. So we see the number 7 for the Newcastle Knights getting ready to set up for his attempt at conversion.
A nice little kick over the top there. Sam Abraham goes up and claims the ball and puts it down, representing the Macquarie Scorpions. And now Willie Lockwood will have a chance to make it 6-0. Don't forget, if you're following the live stream, to let us know where you're watching from. As Lockwood lines this one up. Moves in. Strikes it. And just doesn't have the legs. On target, though. The score remains 4-0 to the Knights.
What a great opportunity this competition is providing for these young players to travel around the state, to be exposed to some of those former NRL greats and to the education programs of the National Rugby League. Let us know what you think of the new structure, the new competition, the Laurie Daley Cup. Just drop us some comments in the comments box. It's been great to be able to interact with you so far this afternoon.
A strong run there from the Knights. Harry Whitfield up the middle. And there's an error. Good pressure there from Marker. It's forced an error. And the Tigers will get a chance to hit back straight away here. Take this opportunity to thank not just Bar TV, but also SLE Worldwide, Victor Sports and Anytime Fitness for their support of Country Rugby League and the Andrew Johns and Laurie Daley Cups. As the Tigers have a scrum feed 30 metres out. They'd love to hit back straight away here, the Tigers. They've had a lot of possession, but only in their own half. They're down the other end, and as we speak, the ball's been put down. The Knights pick up possession 20 metres out from their own line. Some of the outside backs come in to lend a hand for the Knights. A warm day, the more help they can give their forwards, the better. As Ryan Potts looks to break him through the middle. Lockwood with the bomb. A spiral torpedo. It's a huge kick. And the fullback has done, Max Atlas has done very well there to take that on the full. It turned him around. He kept his eye on the ball and claimed it beautifully. The Tigers now with a decent run, 15, 20 metres up the park.
Yeah, that was a great take under a lot of pressure from the back line there of the Tigers. Be good to see them get down the other end of the field if they can with a couple of strong runs from their forwards and then look to spread it wide. Haven't seen too much of the outside backs in the back line yet for the Tigers, so it'll be good to see them in a little bit of open space. Got people joining us from Tamworth and Werris Creek. Thank you so much, and what a wonderful opportunity Country Rugby League and Bar Sports have provided by live streaming these games. I know you'd love to be here, so being able to watch the boys online is the next best option.
You just saw there from the Tigers an early kick. That's a good way of being able to relieve that kick pressure that the Knights have been putting on. So nice little tactic there from the Tigers to get that early kick away. Let their defence muscle up and try and force an error. Nice offload there from the Knights as they puncture the Tigers up the middle. Shifted to the open side now. And carrying 4 men. Nihana Eldman. That'll be the last for the Knights. They come to Lockwood, a little chip to the corner again. Oh, and the winger does very well there from the Tigers. Forces a line dropout, but saves a try. The Tigers will be forced to have the dropout from underneath their own posts.
Yeah, the Tigers are going to have to come up with a tactic to counter those kicks into the corner. They have been causing a lot of trouble, and a repeat set is obviously the next best option after a try, so the Newcastle Knights playmakers will be pretty happy with that. Slightly wonky dropout. We'll see the Knights be able to start this next set in really good position.
As the Knights go to their left now. Strong run there from Matt Miafua. Out the back to the fullback, to the winger. Some fleet footwork inside and he's over. Melly J. Townsend. A couple of right foot steps and in he goes. Referee points to the spot. The Newcastle Knights development squad lead the Greater Northern Tigers 8-0 with a kick to come.
Townsend very light on his feet and he's looked threatening every time he's had the ball in hand. He's stepping off his left, stepping off his right. Very well balanced player and obviously got a bit of speed on him as well.
Takes the score to Newcastle Knights development squad 8, leading Great Northern Tigers score. 7 minutes gone in the first half.
17 minutes gone in the first half and the Tigers have done pretty well to absorb a lot of pressure from the Newcastle Knights, only letting in those 2 tries. But they are going to have to look a little bit more creatively in an attack if they're going to get down the other end and really threaten that defensive line of the Knights, which has been relatively unchallenged so far in this match.
And Melly J. Townsend there with some good footwork, and you dare say that clubs like St George, Illawarra, Penrith, West Tigers, Canberra, Sydney Roosters, the Knights, they're all aligned with this competition. They'll be keeping a close eye on these 18-year-olds. They're coming up to an age where they'll be ripe for first grade. As the kick just misses to the right-hand side of the uprights. So the score remains 8-0 to the Newcastle Knights development squad.
Score remains Newcastle 8, leading Greater Northern Tigers yet to score.
The Tigers to restart play here. Trapped with the feet there by the Knights. Hannah Oldham with the hit up. Carrying people with him. Still going, Oldham. That's a solid shot by the Tigers and they've turned the ball over. So that's the mistake they've been wanting, the Tigers. They'll get an opportunity in the Knights half now. As the Tigers win the scrum feed. Ooh. Solid shot there by the Knights. And again, some good defence from the Knights. Spoke about the Knights' defence being tested. Well, this is the opportunity for the Tigers. Looks to be a little bit of a bobble there, but the referee unsighted. Good hit up there from Ethan Campbell, centre of the field for the Tigers. As they come to the left, dummy there, some good covering defence from the Knights. This will be the last tackle for the Tigers. As they come to the right, short ball. The goal line defence looks to have held him up, and they have. So some good defence there from the Knights.
Yeah, the Knights were great there in defence in their first real test. They've passed with flying colours, but proof too that when the Tigers get down there, they are going to threaten the line. We had a couple of good hit-ups and also some pretty good footwork. So if they can get a bit more possession down this half, we should see the game even up a bit.
As Townsend makes a couple miss again with a nice run. So the referee asked him to go back and play it on the spot. Yeah, the Tigers asked a few questions in that set. So as you said, Jessica, if they can build a bit of pressure down here, they'll be a threat in the attacking 20. As the Tigers force another error from the Knights, so their defence is really stiffening up here. No advantage there for the Tigers, so they'll get a scrum feed 30 metres out from the Knights line. So this is that pressure we were talking about. The Tigers win the scrum. Some good hard running there from Jack Stafford. Dummy throw-in, he splits them up the middle. Some crucial last-ditch defending there. As they go short and runs into a brick wall there on the goal line. They come out the back, controlled off the legs. Still some space, kick in behind. And the Tigers look to have scored here. Some desperate defending from the Knights. And he's called it held up. So the referee's come over and it's held up. Some desperate defending from the Knights winger. So the Tigers play the ball. That looked to be a try for all money. Tigers work it back towards the centre of the field. Elizabeth with the last tackle. They come to the left through the hands. Strong running towards the goal line. They've held him up again.
Yeah, the Tigers desperately unlucky there not to be rewarded for their efforts. They've really picked up their energy and their enthusiasm as a group over the last couple of sets and got very close there to crossing the line, only just held up. Really enjoying the energy here of Steve Dengate from Muswellbrook. He's really brought in some good energy, some good enthusiasm. He's got into dummy half a couple of times. Really feel like his efforts are lifting the side on this left-hand side.
There's the Knights kick early now, looking to get out of their own half. Trent Taylor there playing at fullback. Some good field position here for the Tigers. Crowd not happy with the 10. And there's an error in the play the ball there from the Tigers, so Knights will have an opportunity to go down the other end. There was a decent little kick in behind there from the Tigers and they looked to have scored a try, but some last-ditch defending from the Newcastle Knights somehow prevented the Tigers from scoring 4 points. So, as we said, they're dangerous when they're down that end, the Tigers, so let's see if they can get a bit more ball down there. As the Knights now win the scrum feed. A nice little offload. Strong run from Peterson. So Knights go to the left. Good run there from Jay Beeman King. Step back inside towards the post. And he's over. The Knights have gone in next to the post. Referee's going to give the try. There it is. Try to the Newcastle Knights there.
Newcastle Knights development squad number 15, Matt Mayor takes the score to Newcastle Knights 12.
Matt Mayor hitting the ball at full pace there, directing his line back at the goalposts. He was very determined and he was not going to be stopped by the Tigers' defensive line. So we do see the Knights pulling ahead a little bit there, but only moments ago we saw the Tigers almost cross the line. So if they can just continue to be patient, stay composed and not get their heads down, quite likely to be able to pull back some of that lead and score some points of their own. A lot of our live stream audience today joining us from Tamworth, so hi to everybody there. Proud rugby league community, let us know what it means to your players to be able to represent your region and to travel and play footy with their mates in this new competition, this new restructure, the Laurie Daley Cup, named after one of our country greats.
There's a conversion successful there for the Knights. Willie Lockwood with the 2 points.
That number 7, Willie Lockwood, successful. Takes the score to Newcastle 14, leading Grey Northern Tigers at the score, with just under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
So with just under 5 to go in the first half, the Knights have jumped out to a 14-0 lead. The Tigers haven't been without their opportunities, just unable to capitalise down that end of the field. Newcastle now full of running after that try. The try scorer, Matt Mifua, nice hit up there. Just held onto the ball there, the Knights in to play the ball as they go down the short side. Lockwood happy to just go short there. Referee's arm up, last tackle. Lockwood on the ball. A little reverse kick there, back over. The winger reads it well. And a decent run there as well. Ben Fencher. That is a big hit from the Newcastle defence. Stopped him dead in his tracks. That was a big hit. As the Tigers come down the short side. Some slick hands there from the Tigers. Just as equally good defence from the Knights. A kick from the fullback. It's a good early kick. And it just gets the wrong bounce and it skips dead.
Mea from the Knights there, definitely sending a message to the coaching box that he might like to be a starter. He's definitely brought some good energy and some determination, not only in attack but defence. His entry to the field has been well noted by the Tigers players, I'm sure.
Slow play the ball here for the Knights. As their winger comes in to help out. Matt Aurora there with a solid run as they come down the right-hand side now. Step back into the middle. Making some good metres here, the Knights. So they go to Lockwood, a little chip over the top. Well read again there on the wing. There's Fetchner with a solid run. Two big plays in the last couple of minutes there. Helped the Tigers out immensely. Breaks free of a couple of tackles. Some good metres there for the Tigers. Oh, nice offload and it's just put down. Promising signs there for the Tigers. But definitely not out of this game at 14-0 down. A couple of those passes stick.
It is towards the end of these halves that we start to see some cracks appearing, and if the players are running in pairs and there's a chance of an offload, that is when we see some of those midfield breaks. Joining us on the live stream, we've got Rugby League Royalty, Country Rugby League Royalty, and Alan Tung. G'day, Tungy. How's it going? Thanks for joining us, taking an interest in the Country Rugby League pathways and this new structure and the Laurie Daley Cup. I think we're going to see some really positive things out of this restructure for the players, the pathways and the regions.
A little bit fiery there at the scrum. The ball's out and the Knights have it. Knights would love to post some points here before half time. They work it to the middle of the field with the try scorer. Lockwood with a little kick again. Bounce sits up this time and the Tigers are happy to just kick it out of play. goes the halftime siren. So the Knights go in 14-0 up against the Greater Northern Tigers. A decent display from the Knights in the first half. They've capitalised on their opportunities, and the Tigers haven't in the first half.
Yeah, still a really good quality of football from both sides. Both sides can't be faulted on their effort. For me, a couple of standouts from the Knights, definitely Peterson from the Western Suburbs, Newcastle. Also Matt Merfor, who came on from the Maitland Pickers later in that second half, making a big impact in both defence and attack. Will be interesting to see who will step up for the Tigers in the next half. I'd say halftime addresses are probably going to focus on possession and also maybe some of those last tackle options.
As we go to half-time, a good chance to thank our sponsors once again. So SLE Worldwide, the major sponsor for Country Rugby League for these tournaments. We've got Bar TV, who are streaming every game live, so thank you to Bar TV for that. We've got Anytime Fitness, who support Country Rugby League as well, and Victor Sports. So thanks very much, guys, for your support of Country Rugby League. as the teams make their way back out onto the field for the second half here at Raymond Terrace. The Newcastle Knights Development Squad lead the Greater Northern Tigers 14 points to 0. So what do the Tigers have to do to get back into the game, Jessica?
I think they have to trust the fact that they've been putting in the work over the last couple of weeks. They did have that win last week as well, so they don't have to score off every set. They just have to build pressure, and eventually the points will come.
Yeah, a few more opportunities down the Newcastle defensive 20 wouldn't hurt the Tigers in this second half. As the referee blows the time on, and we're underway. Good strong run there from Henry Hall. So Tigers look to bring the ball centrally now. Ball's been put down there by the Tigers, and Newcastle picked it up. They look to counter. And some good scrambling defence there from the Tigers. Gives Newcastle an early opportunity now. One of the try scorers, Miafua. Come down the short side with Lockwood. Short pass, nice fend. He's tripped up and he's lost the ball. He looked to be through the hole there. Little ankle tap, and he's put the ball down. Let off there for the Tigers.
I think as you're coming through the age groups and the NRL is getting closer and closer, sometimes it can be tempting to try and fancy things up and push passes where perhaps they don't need to, or look for options that are maybe have a higher degree of difficulty. But sometimes it is just about getting back to those basics, making sure that you complete sets and that there's a solid kick on the end of those sets in good position. So you just need to focus on what's really important and not try and push things beyond what they need to.
Tigers doing a good job of working it out now, and they kick early. That's a good kick too. He's found the grass. Turned the winger around, and a decent kick chase as well by the Tigers. A couple of tacklers dropping off there. He's been very elusive today, the winger, Marley J. Townsend. Marley J. Townsend with another run. Bumps up a few there. Sam Abraham, good try scorer from the first half as well. Quick play the ball as well. The Knights come back to the open side. Last tackle here for the Knights. Back to Lockwood. Puts the ball up in the air. It's been put down by the fullback. The winger dives on it, and he probably had to. The Knights might have picked it up and scored there, so happy to concede the penalty for offside. It'll give their defensive line a chance to reset.
That kick from the Knights did go up with a fair amount of force behind it and swirled around. We don't have too much of a breeze, but it did swirl around a little bit, and the fullback definitely had some difficulties getting his footwork right and getting his feet underneath that, stretching out at the last minute. So he has put his side under a little bit of pressure, but I'm sure his teammates will have his back.
Knights with a short ball there, close to the line. Some good defence there from the Tigers. The Knights, nice short ball there from the hooker, and he's over. That's a try to the Knights. Nice inside ball. Referee points to the spot. That's a try. That takes the score out to 18-0 with a kick to come.
Another try as Newcastle Development Squad to a play off the score to Newcastle's 18, leaving Greater Northern Tigers yet to score.
Hadel with the try, but it was the inside ball there that put him into a bit of space, and he just barged over from close range. So Lockwood will look to add the extras here. We've been getting some really good feedback from you guys on social media, on following the live stream, so keep that coming. It's much appreciated. As Lockwood looks to add the extras, and he does so. That takes the score out to 20-0 for the Newcastle Knights development squad versus the Greater Northern Tigers.
Very successful by Laurie Daley takes the score. Newcastle development squad 20, leading Greater Northern Tigers yet to score. With 5.5 minutes gone in the second half.
The Tigers look to restart play. Good start to the set there for the Knights. Oh, lovely offload there, and the Knights are in space. It throws the dummy, beats the fullback. Another offload. The centre breaks away, and he's going to go in. That's a great try from Newcastle. Jack Smith finishes it off, but some great lead-up play from the Knights. Couple of beautiful offloads. The referee points to the spot. That's 24-0 to the Newcastle Knights development squad versus the Greater Northern Tigers.
Yeah, outstanding there again from Matt Mearfor. Very determined to plead his case for a starting spot, and also to make sure that everyone's well aware of his strength. The offload was outstanding, and he had some good support there by his backs as well. Jack Smith, obviously pretty good finisher from the Macquarie Scorpions, and he'll be very happy to cross the line. I think as the scoreline does blow out a little bit, it's important for the Tigers players to take each set as it comes. This is a 7-week tournament, and the most important thing is to develop as an individual and also develop as a side. These tournaments are in place, and it is a great honour, and it will be a great honour for whoever is victorious in winning the Laurie Daley Cup at the end of it this season. But it is equally as important to use this time to learn as much as you can, to practice resilience when things are against you. And come out at the end a better athlete, a better footballer, and hopefully a better person for having been involved in this tournament and also in rugby league in general.
Willie Lockwood adds the extras there, so it takes the score to 26-0 in favour of the Knights. It's not all doom and gloom for the Greater Northern Tigers. They'll have the bye in the next round of the competition, so they'll have a 2-week break to work on some things for that next crucial game. There'll be 1 win, 1 loss. So, as I said, it's not the end of the world for the Tigers. That's a great kickoff, and he's forced a goal line dropout. So, nice kickoff there from the Tigers. The Knights fell asleep there.
We can, of course, see some pretty epic comebacks in rugby league. I can remember one in which Cronulla came back from a 26-0 down to the Roosters and came back and won that. So not all hope is gone, but the Tigers will definitely want to be the next to score.
They'll have a good opportunity to do that, Jessica, as they're on the attack here, 30 metres out. Backing his way towards the post, early in the tackle count as well. So they're set to both sides here, the Tigers. So they come to the right, out the back, out the back. The fullback chimes in, great ball, offload. Oh, he goes close, but the Knights scramble. They do well to hold him out there, the Knights. So the Tigers just take a settler. Some nice play there from the Greater Northern Tigers. So they come to the open side. The big front rower goes closer, Ethan Campbell. The dummy half goes from, and he's lost the ball. Unlucky there for the Northern Tigers. That'll come out to the 20 for a quick restart. The Knights are ready to go. And they're off.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the urgency to get back and form that cohesive defensive line for the Tigers. They now have caught up, and those stragglers have made it back to the line, but that did give the Knights an opportunity to get out of their half relatively unopposed.
A little bit of afters there in the tackle as the Tigers look to force the Knights back. Tigers stiffening up in defence. That's a good run there from the Knights. The ball goes up high. Pressure coming through. The ball's been dropped and the Knights have scored. The referee looked to put his whistle to his mouth there, but I think he's going to be happy to award the try. And he will. He'll point to the spot. That's a try to the Knights. Knights now lead 30-0.
Sixth try of the afternoon to the Newcastle Knights development squad. To the hooker number 9, Brian Potts. Takes the score to Newcastle Knights 30, leading Greater Northern Tigers yet to score, with a kick to come.
Ball went up in the air there from the Knights. The chase was good. The fullback spilled his lollies and the Knights have picked it up and strolled over for another try.
I think that will be something that the coaches from the Great Northern Tigers side might want to work on for the next couple of weeks. There have been some kicks that weren't able to be regathered. There were a couple of tries scored off kicks into the corner. We've seen a couple of bombs be put down too. So that back three will want to be learning something from the experience, focusing on it over the next couple of weeks, and then coming back better for it for their next game after the bye.
As Lockwood converts, that takes the score to 32-0. The Newcastle Knights development squad over the Greater Northern Tigers.
Takes the score to the Knights 32, leading Greater Northern Tigers yet to score in this under-18s Laurie Daley Cup Country Rugby League fixture.
It'll be interesting to see how the Tigers respond here. There's still a little bit of time left in this game. It'll be good to see them lift their heads and really put in an effort as they go short from the kickoff and regather. The Knights caught sleeping again from the kickoff. Lovely short kickoff there from the Tigers as they go on the attack. Slow play the ball. Nice hit and spin there as he goes for the line. The Knights scramble. Lovely hit and spin there by Cody Byrne. Footwork from the half. A little offload, and the Knights do well to wrap him up again. The Tigers go to the open side. Hard running there. Solid defence on the line from Newcastle. So they go short again. Nice little kick in behind. And the Knights are forced to force the ball in goal. So a line drop out here for the Knights.
And although they are behind on the scoreboard and points are crucial for the Tigers, that is a good result. And it is good to build momentum into your next game by getting those things right. Forcing repeat sets is obviously really good and puts a lot of pressure on the Knights. So we're seeing the Tigers still put in some really good effort and making sure that they're learning as they go.
The Tigers get another opportunity now with the ball. A solid run there. As the Tigers come the open side now. There's another good hard run from the substitute. Some good footwork from the lock. He goes close again. That's the second time in 2 sets. Cody Byrne going close to the post. Slow play the ball again. Ball comes out to Bailey Ellis. Out the back. Oh, a lovely ball there, and the Tigers are in. Kyle Johnson with the try. A lovely short ball from Max Altus, the fullback. And the Tigers are on the board.
And that's an example of good game management. So they've not been able to get across the line, but they've forced the repeat set. And then, as we see so often happens in footy, the next set they do go in and they do score. So that's some really good signs and really positive signs for the Tigers. And it's something that has obviously paid off this time. And they'll continue to look to those tactics for the rest of the match, I hope.
And with the opportunities that they have had down the other end, the Tigers, they have looked sharp with the ball. So, as we said earlier, it's not all doom and gloom, this result. They'll have the bye next week. They'll be able to go away and work on a few things that have cost them today and come back after the bye round, 1 win and 1 loss. As Bailey Ellis looks to add the extras here from a wide out position. Moves in. Strikes it well. That's a lovely kick there from Bailey Ellis. He adds the extras. Takes the score to Newcastle Knights Development Squad 36, Greater Northern Tigers 6.
Second by Kyle Johnson from Dingarling, number 2. Great conversion from out wide by Bailey Ellis. From North Penrith, takes the score.
Great opportunity for those Tigers fans out there on social media to let us know what you think about that try and that great conversion from Bailey. As the Knights look to restart play. If you're the coach here, you just want your team to get to your kick. After points, it's so important for these teams to get to their kick and put the ball back down the other end and make the Knights work off their line. Some nice ball movement there from the Tigers, but well read by the Knights in defence. Another good run there from Ethan Campbell. He's been good today in the front row for the Tigers. Some solid contact there in the middle of the park from the Knights.
Last tackle for the Tigers. The kick goes up. It's high. It's difficult to take. And we haven't seen many mistakes out of the fullback today, but he has, for the Knights, but he has had difficulty regathering that. Another repeat set with a dropout for the Knights. So another good opportunity for the Tigers to consolidate and hopefully get some more points on the board. Very unusual circumstances there. Maybe the Tiger player not prepared for the ball to come at that height and that speed. Unfortunately for the Tigers, possession has been regathered by the Knights. They'll just have to D up and keep them down this end in order to get another chance shortly.
That's unfortunate for Cody Byrne. He's been very good today for the Tigers. As the Knights now draw a penalty. Kick for touch here, the Knights. As Lockwood finds touch up around the halfway mark. Nice catch there by one of our spectators in the crowd. A solid tackle there. He's probably just gone over the horizontal though, and the referee's blown a penalty. Solid defence there from the Tigers, just got a bit dangerous in the end. As the Knights kick for touch again. Lockwood finds touch. About 10 metres out from the line, so the Knights back on the attack. There's a strong run by the front rower. Jock Sullivan there, off the tap. Some nice footwork there from the lock, Harry Whitfield. couple of settlers there for the Knights. They give it to their other front row forward. He goes for the post. The Tigers do well to hold him up, and they force an error there. And the referee is blown for the penalty. He's seen a strip in there somewhere. Right in front of the post. Knights look like they're going to take the tap here. And they do. Back on the attack. Another hit up from Jock Sullivan there. So they come out wide with Lockwood. Lockwood with the short ball. And the Knights are over. Lovely ball from Lockwood and a great finish there by Riley Mean. Scored 2 tries last week for them and he's over again today.
Unfortunately, Riley was tackled a little bit late in the back, just as in the act of scoring. I'm sure there was no intent in it. He has got up a little bit ginger, but seems to be able to rub it off and rejoin the group. I think too, we saw that penalty recently in the set before, where Jock Sullivan was put in a dangerous position and the Tigers were penalised. But I think there was very little intent in it, and obviously accidental with a few people in that tackle. And I think a real credit to Jock and to the spirit of the game, the spirit in which this game's been played in, that he got straight back up and returned to his team and without any kind of overreaction. So good on him, and shows his maturity as a player. And the way that these country boys are conducting themselves is really professional for people so young. So congratulations to those players and also to the communities that are producing them.
Yeah, plenty of communities being represented today as well. Dungowan have a lot of representatives for the Greater Northern Tigers, so dare say there'll be a few proud families from that area. As Lockwood sprays a kick to the right. That takes the scoreline 40 points to 6 in favour of the Newcastle Knights development squad over the Greater Northern Tigers.
Unsuccessful with 13.5 minutes to go. Newcastle Knights 36, leading Greater Northern Tigers 6 in this under-18s Laurie Daley Cup fixture.
So Tigers go long from this kick-off. Tigers now looking to muscle up in defence. Nice run there from dummy half, trying to catch the markers. Some good metres here on this set from the Knights. The ball goes up in the air again, out towards the wing. That's a great take under pressure there from the winger. Now it's the Tigers' turn to try and work their way off their own goal line. Nice run there by Lockie Chard. Some good metres here for the Tigers. A couple of good runs back to back. And a nice kick there. Sits up well for the fullback. Peterson can run it back now. Some nice footwork. But the kick chase was good from the Tigers. As the winger comes in now. Townsend, he's been good today, Townsend. The Tigers aren't going away from their defensive responsibilities. Their line speed's still good, still looking to come up and put some pressure on with their defence. as Lockwood puts it up. Another tough one to take, and they let it bounce, the Tigers. Not as much pressure this time, though, and they can regather. Tigers had the ball 10 metres out from their own line. A solid shot there. Jack Stafford with a nice run across field there. And some easy meters there for the hooker, Sam Wentworth. Slow play the ball here. Last tackle for the Tigers. Kick pressure. That's been touched. The referee signals 6 again, so tackle count restarts. Tigers in the attacking half now.
Lockie Chard from Glen Innes has looked really strong when he's had the ball in his hand. I'd like to see him put his hand up a little bit more. Here he is with the ball now. With the offload as well. In terms of asking you shall receive, that couldn't have had better timing. But yeah, if Lockie could get a bit more involved, if he could get his hands on the ball and really step up, I think the Tigers would make a few more inroads into that Newcastle defence.
Chard with the fen there, broke the line, held off one. Nice flick pass to the winger who looked for all money to score, and he's been held up in the corner. So that's the second time today that the Tigers have looked like they're going to score and they've been held up. There's nice footwork there from the halfback. He goes close. Knights get numbers there. This will be the last tackle for the Tigers. It's good footwork there from Bailey Ellis. Crossfield kick. Putting the winger under pressure. The centre goes up for it and drops the ball. Good opportunity there. The Knights look to come out to the 20 to start quickly. There's a penalty for the Knights inside the 10. Lockwood will kick for touch. There's a nice go forward with their big front rower, Mihana Oldman. He's been good today. His front row partner, Jock Sullivan there, he's been good too. A lot of good go forward from those two big men. Knights happy to just punch it through the middle. Look to go right, they come back to the left to Lockwood. Turns it inside. Bit of space back in there. Jai Beam and King looking to take advantage of it. Right underneath the post here as they go to the left with Lockwood. A dummy from Lockwood, step. Goes close. It's been held up. The referee signals held up.
Unlucky there from Willie Lockwood, who had some great footwork and got very close to the line. Grandma Debbie on the live streams dropped into our comments box, tells us that Lockwood hails from Kempsey, proud rugby league region, and also producer of some top NRL talent.
There's a Knights with a few offloads, and they've gone over here, the Knights. Some slick passing close to the try line. The referee points to the spot, and that's a try. That takes the score out to 40-6 with a kick to come.
Just over 6 minutes remaining in this Laurie Daley Cup fixture.
They've had some very good impact off the bench tonight this afternoon. Camilo Tuivasa with a try, Matt Miafo with a try. And Ross Heidel as well. So some very good impact off the bench for the Knights. Just shows the strength and depth that they have.
I think today where Newcastle has been able to apply the most pressure is probably in the defence. They're a very coordinated defensive line. They've got high levels of communication. They're letting the man on either side of them know where they are at all times, and that's meant that there's been a lot of pressure applied to the Tigers. And there's no shying away from it. The Tigers have let in a lot of points today, but at this level and at this point in time in their careers, the main thing is that they learn from it, that they take away as much as they can from the result and they come back better for it. And that's why competitions such as the Laurie Daley Cup is so important, and the overall development of these young country players who are so proud to be representing their regions.
There's one of those interchange players we spoke about, Miafua. He's looked really good every time he's carried the ball today. So Knights work it off their own line. 30 metres out now. Some good footwork from the big man there. Picks up an extra couple of metres. The Knights get in behind the markers there. Easy yards. As the hooker goes from dummy half. A nice ball there. Well read in defence. Last tackle for the Knights. Yeah, that's some good defence there from the Northern Tigers, snuffing out that opportunity for the Knights.
Probably not the best of options there to finish that set. He has been pretty solid today, Matt Murphy, but maybe not the right option. But when you are ahead on the scoreboard by so much, maybe you can take a few risks. But this does give a good opportunity for the Tigers to regroup, and that was a strong run there to get the ball out of his own half. There's Zach. Is that your cousin there that you've dropped into the comments box? Maxi Altus, making sure that he's doing his side proud, and obviously his region as well. From the Coonamble region, I'm informed.
Last tackle here for the Tigers. Not long to go in this game. A loose pass from dummy half. Well picked up there. Miafua with pressure on. And a knock on there by the Knights. So the Tigers will get another chance with the ball here. There not being long to go in the game, Jessica will take an opportunity to thank the sponsors of Country Rugby League, Bar TV, who are streaming every game live for us. We've got Anytime Fitness, Victor Sports, and the major sponsor for the Laurie Daley and Andrew Johns Cups, SLE Worldwide. Without their support, we thank them very much for their support of these two great competitions, these great two initiatives from Country Rugby League. The Tigers wouldn't mind getting some points on the board here, I dare say. So you look to shift the ball. Some nice footwork there from the halfback. Yeah, nice run there. Bailey Ellis, he's looked pretty good today, Bailey. Ooh, attempted intercept there by the Knights. Ball goes to ground.
Thank you to those of you who have joined us in the live stream this afternoon. I know it must be a huge comfort for those of you unable to travel to games that you can still support via the online platforms. It's been great to have you engage with us, and never fear, all of games for this competition from here on out will be covered and live streamed for you via the Country Rugby League Facebook. We've got Anytime Fitness, Victor Sports, and the major sponsor for the Laurie Daley and Andrew Johns Cups, SLE Worldwide. Without their support, we thank them very much for their support of these two great competitions from Country Rugby League. Facebook. So please make sure you spread the word and make sure that you get as much online support as possible when the players are away.
The Tigers down on the goal line now. A little bit of a juggle, heading towards the post. It's a good run there by Tyler Kent. Options either side here for the Tigers. Out the back, defence rushes up. A nice little offload, and the Knights are away. And they've called a forward pass there by the Knights. Lockwood was away. It's been brought back for a forward pass, so the Tigers will get another opportunity. In a beaten team today, Bailey Ellis, the halfback for the Greater Northern Tigers, has looked quite good. Positive signs for the Tigers. They'd love another try here. Tigers win the feed. Oh, and a solid shot. And that'll be full time. So full time here at Raymond Terrace with the Newcastle Knights development squad beating the Greater Northern Tigers 36-6. 40-6. 40-6. I'll put you over to Jessica.
Yeah, I think a few final thoughts from us. I'm sure that everybody who supported the live stream today is very proud of their young man and what he's been able to contribute to the region so far and represented so proudly, and also looking forward to seeing each player and each side develop over the coming weeks. Thank you very much for supporting the live stream and for supporting your players in their careers. We look forward to engaging with you in other games throughout the Laurie Daley Cup and also the Andrew Johns Cup in the under-16s. Thank you.